It's Del Wood on Country Music Time. Well, hi there, friends and neighbors. This is Staff Sergeant Don Sturgis with a great big welcome to Country Music Time. Brought to you from Nashville, Tennessee, the hometown of country music, by your local Air Force recruiter in cooperation with this radio station. Now here's our star from the Grand Ole Opry, in person, Miss Del Wood.
Welcome to Country Music Time. Today, starring RCA Victor's own little redhead, Miss Del Wood, the queen of the country music ivories. And that was Del opening our show with The World is Waiting for the Sunrise. And Del's got a brand spanking new album called Bustles, Buggies, and Barrel House. I hope you'll remember that. And Del features in her new album all the tunes between 1900 and 1920. And today, of course, we're coming your way for Uncle Sammy's United States Air Force recruiting service. Right now, here again is our RCA Victor star, Miss Del Wood, the she of the old apple tree. Del? Now, Dell, that was all right. That's Miss Dell, our star on today's show, playing in the shade of the old apple tree. Right now, we got an old boy standing over here chomping at the bit, just dying to tell you about Uncle Sam's United States Air Force. Here's Sergeant Don Sturgis.
Thank you very much, Ralph Emery. Today, one of the most exact sciences of the aerospace age is aerial navigation. And Air Force navigators use some of the most sophisticated electronic equipment ever designed to bring their aircraft in with pinpoint accuracy. It takes a very particular man to measure up as an Air Force navigator, perhaps a man such as you. If you can qualify for the Air Force Aviation Cadet Navigator program, there is an interesting and rewarding career awaiting you. During your aviation cadet training, you'll study the wide variety of navigational techniques, use the most modern navigational and guidance equipment, and upon completion of the program, you win the silver wings of a navigator and a commission as a flying officer in the United States Air Force. To be eligible for navigator training as an aviation cadet, you must be between 19 and 26½ years old, have a high school diploma, and be in good health. Your local Air Force recruiter can tell you all about navigator training as an aviation cadet. Remember, there's a place for tomorrow's leaders on the aerospace team.
Right now, I'd like to introduce myself, and I'm awful happy to be here today with Dell. My name is Ralph Emery. I want to tell you a little story about an old fella that got kicked around. He tried to sing in the choir, and he wasn't too good at it, but he was trying nevertheless. We'd like to tell you today about Brother Eyre as we present Trouble in the Amen Corner.
Rock of ages, cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee.
Well, it was a stylish congregation. You could see they'd been around. They had the biggest pipe organ of any church in town. But over in the Amen corner of that church sat Brother Eyre, and he insisted every Sunday on singing in the choir. His voice was cracked and broken. Age had touched his vocal cords, and nearly every Sunday he'd get behind and miss the words. Well, the choir got so flustered that the church was told in fine that Brother Eyre must stop his singing, or the choir was going to resign. So the pastor, he appointed a committee. I believe it was 3 or 4. They got in their big fine cars and drove up to Eyre's door. They found the choir's great trouble sitting there in an old armchair. The summer's golden sunbeams lay upon his snow-white hair. Said York, we're here, dear brother, with the vestry's approbation, to discuss a little matter that affects the congregation. Now, it seems that your voice has interfered with the choir, so if you'll just lay out. Are you listening, Brother Eyre? The old man raised his head, a sign that he did hear, and on his cheek the 3 men caught the glitter of a tear. His feeble hands pushed back the locks as white as silky snow, and he answered the committee in a voice both soft and low. I wonder if the tide that's breaking at my feet, in that far-off heavenly temple where my master and I shall meet, yes, I wonder if when I try to sing the songs of God up higher, I wonder if they'll kick me out up there for singing in heaven's choir. Well, a silence filled the little room. The old man bowed his head. The committee, they went on back to town. But Brother Eyre was dead. The choir missed him for a while, but he was soon forgot. A few churchgoers, they watched the door, but the old man, he entered not. And far away his voice is sweet, and he sings his heart's desire, where there are no church committees and no fashionable choirs.
Let me hide myself in thee.
Neighbor, I hope you enjoyed that. I want to say that these boys singing the Rock of Ages part of that number are the world-famous Jordanaires. Dell, let them have Ball in the Jack. by golly, that brings to a close another Country Music Time show for your United States Air Force Recruiting Service. By the way, if you've enjoyed today's show, I want you to write to Del. Tell her about it. You can write to Del Wood, care of Country Music Time, Recruiting Publicity Center, Governor's Island, New York 4, New York.
Thank you very much, Ralph Emery, for helping us out today on Country Music Time. You know, the United States Air Force Academy trains the future leaders of the aerospace age. At the Academy, young men receive a thorough general college education, plus a commission in the regular United States Air Force. Do you measure up to a lifetime career as an officer in the Air Force? Write for full information to the Registrar, United States Air Force Academy, Colorado. That's the Registrar, United States Air Force Academy, Colorado. Do it today. Your local Air Force recruiter, in cooperation with this radio station, has presented Country Music Time from Nashville, Tennessee, the hometown of country music. Country Music Time is produced by the United States Air Force Recruiting Publicity Center. This is Staff Sergeant Don Sturgis reminding you that if you enjoyed this edition of Country Music Time, to drop by and see your local Air Force recruiter and tell him about it. And now until next time, remember, today and tomorrow, you're better off in the United States Air Force.